Hey y'all, it's my favorite time of the day, and welcome back to Chillin' Sensations, Questions and Answers. Question number one, should I be using pork shoulder or pork butt? I've done pork butts, but some people are saying they're using shoulders. Should I be doing something different? Son, you're gonna start a fight on my channel. Coming from competition barbecue, with all the experience that I have and everything else, I'm gonna say it, there's a difference. Depending on what you're trying to do with it, that's what's important. So the pork butt is marbled with lots of fat, right? The pork shoulder has less fat and can be tough if you don't cook it properly for what you're trying to cook it for. So with not knowing what exactly your plan is with this, it's hard to give you an answer. I'm just gonna go with an assumption that you're gonna go for pulled pork. And in that case, they're the same. So as long as you're using traditional methods for making pulled pork in this case, I would say as long as you're doing low and slow, the only differences that I would do is with a pork butt, I don't inject. With a pork shoulder, I definitely would. All right, so question number two. When doing an overnight cook, how often should I get up to check on it? It doesn't matter what you're cooking. If it's on a pellet smoker or a grill, a charcoal grill should always be the same. You should be keeping a close eye on it. But now that I got that safety disclaimer out of the way, to me, it just depends on what I'm cooking. I generally judge the fat content and the comfortability of my grill to judge that, how often I get up to do that. If I'm cooking a pork butt or a pork shoulder and my intention is to make pulled pork, I usually just set that baby and forget it. And what I mean by that is I usually put it on late in the evening, and then I usually check on it before I go to bed, and then I'll get up a couple times throughout the night to check on it. But I'll be honest, that's not always happened. Because when it comes to making pulled pork, it's really hard to mess it up. All I'm trying to shoot for is to get to 203 and try to keep some moisture in. So once you can get that dialed in, it's super easy. But if I'm smoking something like a brisket, a ton of fat, expensive piece of meat, I'll usually get up about every couple hours to take a look at it. But that could also be on the comfortability side of a smoker or any type of grill that I have. I've had flare-ups with briskets more than absolutely anything that I've ever cooked. So I usually tend to keep a closer eye on it, but I also have a sweet aftermarket thermometer that I have that has a high temp alarm, and so I do set it up around 300 degrees. That way if I do get a flare-up, the alarm goes off, it wakes me up, I can get out there and save the day. So kind of like I said at the beginning, you really should be getting up and checking on it. And question number three, does anyone else remove this useless safety grate? First off, I've never removed one because I've never put it on in the first place. But I also have had it on there before, and there's actually a really cool trick to this. Make sure it's on there. It's there for a purpose. It is a safety device. There's things in there that you don't want your fingers wrapped up in. But when you go to assemble it, if you just put the 2 bolts in that's closest to the barrel of the grill itself, the whole guard will act on a hinge, so you can have it open when you want it, and you can close it when you don't want it open. I have kids, and they love opening things, and they love sticking their hands in places that when I look at, I don't understand why it was ever appealing to stick your hands there. But I know there's another common question that's gonna come that stems from this. Why would you ever wanna remove it in the first place? First off, if you get really into the fine sciences and the aesthetics of why and what type of pellets that you use, it makes total sense. Different types of wood pellets give you different types of flavors, and I love mixing mine. Sometimes I will mix applewood with mesquite, and that sounds crazy, but sometimes you get the right chemistry profiles between the woods, and it is absolutely amazing. But also too, if you really take care of your pellet grill, you really got to get in there and clean it out pretty regularly. And that gate, if you've ever tried to empty the pellets out of that back slide chute on any pellet grill that I've ever owned, it is a pain. You're always trying to find something to shove down through that grate to knock the pellets down in so they can go down through the chute. So that's all the questions we have for today. So stay tuned because we have tons of questions that we really got to get answers. In reality, I'm learning from this just as much as you are. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, whatever that you see on either of these screens here that says, I want to come back. That's what you got to do. But also too, I don't know if you missed it, today was the website release. Make sure that you visit the website, take a look around. All the categories of barbecue are on there, and they're all top rated. But there's a lot of work the team has put in to make sure that the top rated products were in there. So make sure you visit www.topratedbbq.com. That's right. That is TOP ratedbbq.com.